Stitchers, Seamers, and all you in-betweeners. We are back again with another episode, so thanks for joining us. I don't know. We usually do any kind of welcome besides that. Hello, hi, how are you?
How you doing?
How are those chicken nuggets?
They're tasty.
Alright. I don't think we have any major announcements coming up, since I know a lot of conventions we're still waiting to hear on whether or not they're happening and whatnot, which is, safe of them. But as usual, if you would like to write in or share an idea or a story or just tell us, what kind of fun times you've had at conventions or because of cosplay, you can write to us at CosplayStitchAndSeam@gmail.com or
go to the website, CosplayStitchAndSeam.com, and fill out the form on there.
And you can also go to our Facebook page and join our group and join all of our awesome Work in Progress Wednesdays, as well as our page where we post all of our new episodes and our blog posts.
Yay! You can also support us on Ko-fi, K-O-F-I. We are Cosplay Stitch. And you can listen to us on Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcasts. And we would love it if you drop a review. So we also have a guest today. Stacey, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Stacey.
And?
I am a cosplayer and a harasser of Panon.
Yeah.
And an amazing artist.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
How long you been cosplaying? What's your cosplay handle?
I've been cosplaying for... what year is it?
2020.
2020.
It's been that way for about 5 months.
The darkest timeline.
I've been cosplaying since 2006.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, 2006. My cosplay handle is Tatsue Cosplay. That's Tatsue. Yeah, that's...
And you also art?
I also art. That's true. I went to school for illustration, and...
She has made Magic the Gathering cards live.
I have.
It's so boss.
Yeah, I did two token cards in the Throne of Eldraine set. So nice. I did the boar and the mouse.
They're very cute.
I like them.
Well, thank you for joining us. To all you listeners at home, our topic this week is convention traditions. And I thought it would be fun to bring Stacey on here because we were actually in a cosplay group way back when you started cosplay in 2005, 2006 era. So I thought it would be fun to share some of our stories from way back in the day.
Yeah.
Hopefully none too embarrassing.
Not for me.
Oh, good.
I'm quickly trying to find... Oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah. Read that awesome email we got.
Yes, so this topic was actually submitted by Suzanne. She sent in, a good topic I thought of is maybe fun traditions you have at cons. What do you do with your friends for the day? What snacks or meals do you like to bring to a con? Or do you just buy the food there? So that is a topic from Sweet Suzanne.
Thank you, Sweet Suzanne. This was a really fun one to look back and think about, because I feel like I didn't actually realize how many traditions I had until I went back and thought on it. And I definitely have, I guess I didn't think of them as traditions as much as I did just habits. I just do this every con, so that's how it is. But what about you, Mercedes?
Sorry, what was the question again?
I was just so invested in those nuggets.
I invested in my nuggets, and also I was looking for Facebook stuff and making sure I didn't miss any of the emails, and I really should not do business while recording.
You can't mix business and nuggets, Mercedes.
Business and nuggets!
That's the name of the episode, Business and Nuggets. Oh, well, okay. So for my notes, I always keep notes of the episode so I remember what I was going to talk about. But I thought it would be fun to go chronologically when you're preparing for a convention up to the convention, what some of the traditions are. We're not going to talk about cosplay cramming because we have covered that extensively.
And we still fail to not do it.
Um, well, yeah. But I thought it would be fun to kick off with road trips. So, do you guys have any fun, like, road trip traditions or things you like to do, or roadside snacks and stops that you like to make? Or jump in anytime, guys.
Well, I don't do a lot of the road trip. Like, you guys have really introduced me to doing a lot more cons and trying out like the con community more or less. So the first road trip was NDK last year with Mercedes.
Oh, nice.
And
I feel though like with that road trip you still hit a lot of the common tropes or traditions that we tend to have as cosplayers.
The mid-trip panic.
The mid-trip panic, the leaving things behind, the getting in really late, the
sleeping in the car.
Yeah. This is all very still fresh in my mind. No, I had a lot of fun up until like it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was just like, I can't stay awake anymore, Mercedes. We gotta pull over.
Oh man.
And we ended up just like talking about everything under the sun, and that was fantastic.
Oh, good.
Like we were able to we started Magnus Archives. Well, I started it, and Mercedes was patient to re-listen to the first couple of episodes.
I love to re-listen to those anytime. They're great.
And then Mercedes was very patient to like, this is too anxiety-inducing because I hate horror. I just cannot stand it.
No.
What's so weird about that series is that horror usually, like, especially horror video games, like, I just can't even. But Magnus Archives, I'm like, yeah, this is cool. Let's keep listening.
Nice.
So yeah, the whole road trip thing is like very new to me. I don't have any like traditions, but I overfilled my car with all of the snacks that one could ever need. I think I still have some snacks.
Wow.
I don't eat snacks all that regularly, and when I was driving, I didn't have a chance to like, all right, snacks. But no,
we were perfectly prepared. It was great.
I was a Boy Scout once.
For me, I do road trips a lot. Because usually I can't afford a plane ticket. So I'm just like, I'll just drive. And so like a lot of times, especially for like Anime Los Angeles, my car will end up being the pack horse for everybody. So even if people are flying, they'll message me and be like, hey, I want to save on baggage. I'll pay you to take my luggage instead. And then usually end up paying for the gas, and it's great. And I'll stuff my car, I call it Pudgy Car. I'll stuff it as full as possible.
Nice.
And it's pretty great. I've taken people's sets. I've taken full, like, what do you call those? The cages that go under dresses.
The petticoat?
Yeah, it's
hoop skirt.
Hoop skirt. There we go. I was like, it's harder than a petticoat because it's got bars in it.
Okay.
Yeah,
the cage skirts.
And then usually Sadie is my road trip partner, and we listen to podcasts. We listen to music. We sing to our heart's content all the way over. Or like, her and I are, we do a lot of role play writing together, so we'll discuss all of our characters too and keep each other awake and alert for the whole ride. Or in the case of Denver Pop Culture Con the last time that we went, I slept the whole time because I didn't sleep 2 days before we left. So.
Mercedes! So for us, we had a bad tradition for a while when I was young and spry. Because we would go to SoccerCon, which from Salt Lake City to Seattle is about 14 hours of a drive. But we always wanted to go see the city when we got there on day 0. So we wanted to arrive super early in the morning, day 0. So we would leave at like 8 or 9 at night the day before. And then we'd drive through the night and just switch out drivers until we got there. And it was a terrible idea, but I think we did it for probably 3 or 4 years in a row.
That hurts me.
Yeah. Well, the hardest was like we had a whole car, like almost a like van full of people, but only like 3 of us could drive. And it was the worst. It was so bad. But yeah, so that was a tradition for a while, and then I was like, screw that, airplanes. And
just a reminder that not all traditions are good.
Not all traditions are good or healthy. One of my favorite, though, back when I did a lot of road trips with our local anime club, was back in the days of like burning CDs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would have a convention soundtrack that we would pop in and listen to many times over and over as we drove. And it would always be like, my friend would ask for like, who has a song they want on the soundtrack? And we would all submit like 2 or 3 of them, and then we'd put together a soundtrack, and then we just play it over and over. It usually consisted of like all the anime openings that we were into at the time. And like different stupid Invader Zim things, and to give you an idea of when this was, and sometimes various pop songs that were of the time. But it's been kind of fun to go back and look at some of those, or not look at, but listen to some of those and go like, oh yeah, this was the Inuyasha year, and this was the Full Metal Alchemist year, and this one's Gravitation, and and just kind of, yeah, it's still fun to go back and listen and be like, oh yeah, I was so into that, and oh yeah, this was the trip when this happened. So that was a fun little souvenir. Going back, my one thing, okay, if you have ever gone on a road trip with me, I am a very picky driver. I have rules for who sits in the front seat.
Oh,
They have to be a good passenger in the passenger seat. If you're in the back seat, I don't care what you do. But if you're in the front seat, you have to be a good navigator. You have to keep track of like when I need to turn, because I don't know why, but one of my biggest pet peeves is like being lost while driving or not having good directions while driving. And I will just like, yeah, like nothing else gets me like upset. You guys have known me long enough to know I don't get upset very often.
No.
But like if we're driving and I don't know where I'm going, I will just lose it. I will just, I will. And I have to be able, I know. And I have to be able to, like, request things of them. Like, I need a snack. Open my drink. I need this.
French fry me.
And they also have to be able to stay awake. Because if it's just me, then I have a really hard time staying awake. But as long as even if they're not talking to me, as long as they are awake also with me, and we are having the same experience, I'm kind of like, okay. So.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Do you remember Mercedes on our way back? And I was driving like 90 miles an hour because, flow of traffic and everything. And we were overtaking the semi while this guy was trying to go 95 right behind me. So he was like right on my bumper. And it's pitch black. And we see this coyote cross the street and then start heading back.
Oh no!
And we're like, oh no, because it's now in front of my car.
Oh, man.
And there was like, if I hit the brakes, I'm done for. If I hit it, I'm done for. If I veer out of the way, I'm done for. Oh man,
no.
it's like filling me with anxiety just thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. I think, like, the majority of times I've been pulled over also has been conventions. Either on the way to or from. My very first ticket for speeding was on the way to Acon in Texas. I got pulled over in, I think, Wyoming in a speed trap there going through.
Nice.
I got pulled over near Cedar City on the way back from Anime Los Angeles, I think. Yeah.
Speed trap down there.
There is. And it was like 3 a.m. And
it don't matter what time of day, they get you there.
No, they do. And gosh, I think I didn't get pulled over, but my friend did, and we were caravanning, so we also like pulled over, but I think it scared the cop because there were 2 cars pulling over and they were like, But they saw we were nerds with our car stuffed full of costume props, and they were kind of like, "Oh, okay,
Like,
okay."
alright, then.
But how about you, Stacy? Any?
Not really. I would. I guess my tradition mostly is, and this goes for pretty much any time I'm in a car, you will listen to my music.
That is true.
Oh yeah. That is the rule of any car. Whoever is driving, it's their music that gets to be played. Everything is their choice. And so I've dealt with Sadie's musicals, and Sadie's dealt with my Fallout Boy issues. So
Why am I not in this car? This is the perfect car for me.
it's like I with Sadie and I on a road trip. It's great.
Yes.
I can't wait.
It's the supernatural rule. The driver picks the songs, the passenger shuts his pie hole. Pie hole, yes.
Yeah.
Good save?
Yes. How about favorite travel snacks? You guys mentioned them, but you didn't say what the best kind are.
Peanut butter M&Ms. Hands down, superior peanut butter, tasty treat. I freaking love it. That is my go-to snack.
I'm not a big snack person, so maybe more of a granola bar, because then I feel like it's semi-healthy.
Those are also really good.
The one that I've had since I was a kid is red vines.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Just red vines during any car trip at all.
I don't know. For me, I have to get one thing that's chocolatey and one thing that's fruity. So I'll get Hostess cupcake, and I'll get Skittles.
Nice.
I just have to have both. Oh, and then something salty like nuts or sunflower seeds, or I don't know. I just like something salty.
Sadie makes me eat healthy on trips.
Boo.
She gets me all the treats too, but she also will be like, "Here's an apple, eat it."
See, as soon as I step in my car, I'm like, I'm on vacation and the calories don't count. Let's go. All right. So after road trip, I thought the next most common one would be your roommates. Do you have any hotel room traditions, things, etc.?
I have stopped doing the how many people can we cram in a room thing.
Good. Because that gets old real fast.
I actually have my own space.
I am an adult with aches and pains, and I will sleep in a bed. And and I have a hard time watching anyone else sleep on the floor, so we will only go by the allotted room space.
Nice,
yes.
But it's nice because you can have the room that you need to put your costumes, to put your props. You don't got to worry about somebody knocking it over, or
especially if it's a room full of cosplayers. Because cosplayers, not only are you fitting 4 people on 2 double beds, you're also fitting all of their costumes, all of their props, all of their makeup, all of their wigs, all of their probably someone has a sewing machine, all of their crafting supplies, of stuff they haven't finished yet.
I'm doing better about that.
Yeah.
Whenever I get into a hotel room, I immediately, I personally like the spot that's usually closest to the window, which is usually a detriment to myself because I will freeze to death.
No.
I just like that spot because it's farthest out of the way, and that way, if I start leaving things out, no one walks in that part of the room because it's farthest.
I do the same thing. I have this really bad habit of when I'm at a convention, I want a space where no one's gonna walk, and then I won't pack things nicely. When I take them off, I'll just throw them in that corner. And then at the end of con, I'll nicely pack them up. But when I'm done for the day, I'm just no, throw it. I don't want to deal with it.
It's just where it goes.
Yeah, this is where it goes. So yeah, that's my tradition. Stake out a corner. Keep my corner.
Yeah, that's my corner. This is my corner.
No one can judge me for a messy corner because everything is contained in my corner.
Yes, I don't have it in the general walkway. Sometimes I spread out into the general walkway, but I try to get it as quickly as I can.
Yeah. Let's see. Some of the ones I've done in the past, as far as like roommates and room parties and whatnots go, for a while we did like a Secret Santa where we would draw names of like our roommates or like a group, because at the time we were in a cosplay group. And we would have to do like, you could do like an act of service, or you could do like a little gift from Artist Alley or something for someone else in the group.
That is the cutest idea.
Oh, yay. And you just kind of like leave something nice on your pillow. And it was really sweet when it worked. And then sometimes people would forget.
Oh, no.
So it sucked for someone to get left out. But like when it went well, it went really well and it was fun.
That sounds super cute.
That's adorable. I love it.
Yeah.
That's a great way to like encourage like camaraderie in a, hotel room.
Yeah.
When you're picking a hotel room, make sure you pick people that you are like okay sharing a room with.
Right.
Because it could go so bad if you don't. I've been lucky. I haven't ever had a roommate that I've ever been like, oh, I can't stand being in the same room as this person. But also I'm pretty low maintenance, so
I mean, part of it too was like when we had new people coming into the group, it was helpful for getting to know those people. Because when you're looking up stuff, like not looking up, but when you're like getting to know this person, you're like, okay, I found out what series they like, so I know a thing I could get them. Or I know that like they needed help with this on their costume, so I brought extra glue and safety pins. Or, just little things like that.
Yeah. Keeping it simple.
Yeah. A fairly common one is going to be like late night room parties, because everyone is really excited to see everyone else and they want to hang out and hopefully not be too loud at 2 a.m, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm the definition of a stick in the mud. I'm like, room party? No, I don't want that.
I was about to say the exact same thing. Like when we went to NDK, both Mercedes and Pan were like, we're gonna go off and go hang out with these other people. I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah, I'm gonna go happily sit in my bed and be alone.
Wind down.
That's fine.
Take a bath.
Do what
my
makes
tradition.
you happy.
That's my tradition.
Yeah.
Not socializing after hours.
For some of us, though, I mean, do what makes you happy. But for some of us, we would do like late night games. I had a role play group that I got to meet one non-descon. We all shared a room a couple of rooms. And late at night, we played writing games because we're a bunch of writing nerds. And we played a game called Consequences, which is like where you take a piece of paper and you write like a couple characters or a couple people, and then you pass it down the row, and then someone else writes another character, and then someone else writes the interaction they have, but you don't know what any of the previous stuff is, and then when you're all done, you have like a really bizarre story, and you can laugh about it.
I like that. I always enjoy those games.
Yeah.
I always liked... we don't do it as much anymore because we all claim that we're getting old and that staying up late is hard, but I think a lot of it is because we stress ourselves out before the convention trying to get things done.
Yeah.
And by the time we hit the con, we're not ready to stay up late anymore because we've had lack of sleep. But, side note of that, we used to play Cards Against Humanity all the time.
I was going to say that one. Yeah.
We would go out in like the lobby or just like somewhere, someone's room, just anywhere that had a space where it wouldn't be in anybody's way and interrupting anybody, and we would just play Cards Against Humanity or other card games and whatnot just until we're like, okay guys, we're about to pass out, time to go.
That actually one of the most fun I had at a convention, because I was having a really bad day, and I had some friends get together and they were just like, let's play Cards Against Humanity in the lobby, and I was like, okay. And but it got a little late, so they were like, you have to go to your rooms, and we were like, okay. So we just continued it up in the rooms, and we may have had a few drinks, and it was a lot of fun. It made a bad day into a fun, silly, ridiculous day. And yeah.
Side note, drunk panning is hilarious.
Oh no.
Drunk panning is best pan.
Drunk panning is a menace and needs to be stopped.
Comes in during NDK, middle of the night, turns to me and goes, "You can't tell I'm drunk." And I go,
No, I didn't.
"You said something along those lines." Where
So-
you're like,
I 100% believe that.
So I remember it was Pannon comes in and goes, "Guess what? What, Pannon? I've been drinking. That's nice. You can't tell I'm drunk."
there we go.
I don't remember that.
It was so
I-
funny.
I have no knowledge of
think
this
you
place.
can tell you're drunk, Pan. Really
I was asleep. I was asleep during this because, like Stacy, I'm a stick in the mud.
Uh-huh.
But I heard this story secondhand.
Yes, even though I'm stitching stuff away on my costume, Pan just comes in and... Yes, David, you remembered it correctly. Oh, guess what?
Well, if it helps, that Cards Against Humanity game ended up with me hiding in a sliding door closet and going through the back and coming out the other side, and then being angry when people were not surprised that I came out the other side. So there's that. There's that. If you would like to follow Drunk Pannon on Twitter, just look for Drunk Pannon on Twitter. Anyway, one of the things I've seen people do is like viewing parties. When I was at Anime Los Angeles this last year, or this last January, they were doing I think it was a Critical Role viewing party on like night 0
That's
of the convention. Yeah, because the new episode was out and streaming, and so I walked into a room full of like a dozen people, all like sitting there with all their critter shirts on and excitedly watching, and it was very cute. I have had, so speaking of being drunk at cons, I have a friend who always brings like a cooking stuff to the room. So she'll bring like a hot plate and different things, and she will make like quesadillas and pancakes, and nothing like too crazy because we don't want to set off smoke alarms and whatnot, but just like basic meal stuff. And one year she was making quesadillas and invited me there between some events I was helping host, and was like, "Oh, my roommate will also make you a drink." And I was like, "Oh, I could really use one right now." And I did not realize there was as much alcohol in it as there was, because it was very fruity, and I was wearing a corset, so it takes a minute when you're wearing a corset for it to like hit you, because it's squished a little. And so I had about 4 glasses.
Oh my god.
Which is akin to like maybe 8 or 9 shots. And I hadn't eaten much that day because I was in a corset, and I had like maybe 1 flimsy quesadilla with that. And have I told this story before?
You've told me this story.
Okay. So this is like my shame because it's local. So I was cosplaying as Euphemia Britannia from Code Geass, and I was supposed to help host like the formal ball, but I wasn't like one of the main hosts because that was Lelouch and Suzaku and everybody that's like a big main character. And I really just had to stand there and look pretty and help people dance a little bit. And so I was like, "Oh, it's fine if I have a drink. I'll be fine." And I start like walking back to the convention center, and things are just like swaying, and I'm like, "Uh-oh."
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. And we get to, this was where I learned I could do an okay sober face for the first time, because we get to the convention center and I walk into like, and it's like the formal dance. It was a formal event, and I had some staff members come over and start asking me questions about how the event was being run, and I was like in my head going, "I have no idea. I'm just here to help. I'm not actually running the event. I'm here to stand here and help people learn how to dance. So if you have questions about that, I can answer them. Anything else, I have no idea." And unfortunately, I am also a very punctual person, and so I was the only person there from the group that was helping run it. And so I kept having staff members run up to me and be like, "How do you want the lights? where should we put the microphones? Like, when should we start the music? And I had to, like, compose myself for a moment and be like, if you can just wait a moment, the rest of our group will be here and they should have the details that you need. And, you know, as professionally as I could. And then as soon as they were out of earshot, I turned to my friends and was like, and laughed like a gremlin. And so that was it was a fun night. And then I had, like, worried staff members come over halfway through because I had made the mistake of telling Hina that I had some drinks, and she had told on me to a staff member and was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm okay, I'm fine." They were, like, worried I was, like, causing problems and wrecking havoc, and I was like, "No, I'm just standing here in a dress. Everything is fine."
Frickin' narc.
I know! Hina! Anyway, so roommates. I hope you all have some fun traditions for roommates. I also listed finishing cosplays since that tends to happen in the rooms. Anyone have fun last minute stories?
This is all more you guys, so I will bow out and laugh at the jokes.
Actually, I've got one. When going to ALA, I like getting a room with Rena. And the last time that I went with the group and had a room with Rena, we had both started working out at relatively the same time. And because we're in the same D&D group and whatnot, we started getting kind of competitive with each other. And so the deal is that as soon as we got to ALA, one of the nights we were going to arm wrestle.
Oh dear.
You know, and I cosplayed as Link and she cosplayed as Impa, and so we're like, it's gonna be Link versus Impa. And so we, like, catered our exercise routines to go, like, practice for freaking arm wrestling.
Oh my goodness. You competitive nerds.
It was like 3 or 4 months before the con we decided this or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but we were pumped and ready. And then, we recorded it. Rena has all the recordings, and I need a reveal of them at some point. I think I've got copies too, though. She was gonna, like, edit them together because we had, like, 4 different people videoing us as we did this, and we are just giggling I am giggling so hard. Rena looks, she's her stoic bad A self. I'm giggling like crazy.
You should preface this with, you and Rena are 2 of the most competitive people I know.
Yes.
So I have to ask, who won?
I'm not sure. I feel like
that sounds like loser talk.
It does sound like loser talk.
It sounds like Rena won.
Rude. All right,
hold on. I'll go message Rena real quick.
Maybe I'll just reveal the videos and let you guys decide.
Hey, there you go.
Sign up for our Patreon.
In order to get videos of Rena and V-Fire arm wrestling. Nice.
She's taken up boxing since then, and I'm just like, I need to up my game.
Next time it'll be an all-out brawl.
Oh my gosh, it'd be freaking amazing, though. Not that
in cosplay.
We haven't hit each other before. To be fair, it was while we were practicing a skit, and we hit each other with our props. But, I mean, technically we've hit each other.
Gosh. You guys have a very violent relationship.
You know you're friends if you can hit each other with props, and it's fine.
Yeah. Well, on that note, so actually at the con now that we've talked about everything else, I wanted to talk about Day Zero, because it seems to be one that is mentioned in our Facebook group, and it's also one that people tend to have a lot more outside of the convention to do, so there's a little more room to build your own traditions.
I miss Day Zero. All the time. I think maybe I participated in it once.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I either arrive at the convention on day 1, or if I'm arriving on day 0, it's late at night and I'm going straight to bed.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
It sounds like responsible adult hours.
Or crammed cosplay stuff and left out the...
Okay.
The truth comes out.
I see. Okay. Well, like I mentioned earlier with our road trips, we would plan them so we would get there early on day 0. Because one of my favorite things to do, especially for out-of-town conventions, is to explore the city that you're in, since most of the rest of the weekend is spent in an air-conditioned building and not seeing much. Yeah, well, yeah.
Expo.
It's air-conditioned. It's just there's a lot of bodies in there.
Outside. I haven't even been to it, and I know what this issue is.
Oh, man. But yeah, I like to get out and see the city some. So if I do go to like Anime Expo or Anime Los Angeles, I like to go to the Fashion District. I like to go to Japantown. I like to go to, I don't know, like downtown Los Angeles to see things. And since the only major thing that really happens on day 0 is picking up your badge, or some people do like ribbon parties, there's a lot of time to kind of go have fun and do things. It depends on if you're staff or not. The cons I staff for, that is not as common a practice.
Oh, yeah.
Usually they're helping set up. For Anime Los Angeles, I was on their signs committee for a number of years. I think 7 years, something like that. So we set up all the signs, all the maps, all the basically stuff that helps you find your way around the convention.
Yeah.
And that, of course, has to be done before the convention starts, so nobody gets lost.
Gotta run around, scramble, get everything ready.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Get ready, tradition.
Those are difficult, because your feet are totally worn out, and it's not even the con yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So be kind to your staffers, especially the ones that help set up.
Yeah.
I mentioned ribbon parties. Have you guys attended any ribbon gatherings, exchanges, etc. on day 0?
Remember how I said I was a stick in the mud?
Oh, no.
Stacy, you and I should be friends.
Yeah, I think we should.
I should have had Stacy guest for this episode.
No, probably not.
I'm just kidding, Stacy. You're great.
She's here to give me judgy looks.
Yeah, basically. I'm Panet's keeper.
You're representing the introverts, and that it's okay that you don't have to have these kinds of traditions.
There you go.
How the only reason why I even get ribbons is because I'm standing next to somebody who's actively collecting them. And people just like pity me, and they're like, "Here you go." Okay, cool.
So I don't have like a pity chain.
Well, no, I don't even put them in a chain.
Oh.
I'm gonna make
you just like a bunch of loose. I just have a bunch of loose ones. I'll show you my collection sometime.
You need to wear all of them.
Oh, one day.
I'm gonna make a pity ribbon and give it out to people who look like they're just standing next to someone like really excited about it, but they're not.
This is the perfect plan, though. You walk around looking all like sad and whatnot, dejected, and like someone gives you a pity ribbon,
give you stuff,
and then you just like a wad of cash. You pull out like a collection of ribbons and like, oh, thank you, and then add it to the pile, fold them inappropriately, and put them in your back pocket.
Yeah, what's even better is like the ones that you have to do challenges and stuff for. Sometimes if you're standing like close enough to your friend that's doing it, the people will they won't feel bad for you, and they're like, okay, here, you can have one too. Like, I didn't have to do anything. It was great.
You found a way to cheat the system.
I've cheated the system for a couple years, yeah.
I see. It's me at ALA, isn't it?
Yeah.
Always running around. Stacy's my second in command when we work together at ALA. So we go all the same places. We exchange a lot of the same ribbons and such. So I'll usually have quite a chain. And I'm like, oh, Stacy has one too. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I just know day 0, a lot of people will do ribbon exchanges before the con to kind of like get their stuff started. So people know to be like, oh, these people are collectors. I can go up to them or whatever.
Yeah. It's like a nice get to know you sort of event before the masses come to the whole convention, you know?
Yes. Yes, yes,
And like Day Zero also is like where, again, like the I don't want to say true fans, but the more dedicated fans of the convention are. Because then like you look at any other con and it's like, oh well, this could be a good family get together. You know, we go get a day ticket and we spend Saturday at this anime thing that our middle teenage son seems to be really excited about for some reason, and I don't understand it. So then you get like the pure content of people who are just like really excited about the con experience. Yep,
that is true. That is true. Day Zero, you definitely get the hardcore devotees. One of the other things with ribbon gatherings and gatherings in general, I like to bring ribbons that match with like cosplays I plan to bring to the convention. And if there is a gathering, attend that, and then I have something like cute and fun I can hand out to people that are from the same fandom. So like, what did we do? Did we do a Final Fantasy one last year? No? Okay. I did a JoJo one the year before, and then went to the JoJo gathering, and there were so many JoJos. I was very happy. But it was fun because I got to like meet everybody that came, and I got to hand them all ribbons, and they were excited because it was from a fandom that they like. So
You did have a Final Fantasy.
I did have one.
It was the handmade ones that you made. Oh! Like I tried star.
Oh no, yeah, I did have one. Okay. I was very poor that year, and so the ribbons are usually these nicely made printed things that people make online and have ordered professionally, and I could not afford to do that, so I got some just regular ribbon, like maybe 1.5 inches wide, and I put a gold star on each of them, and I wrote "I tried," and then instead of having glue, it was connected with safety pins.
It was perfect.
So that was a very me ribbon.
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So
we need to have an episode on ribbons.
We do. Yeah. But I don't know, ALA, we used to do like a Pokemon ribbon challenge. I
love
one
that
of the
one.
like the professors for a couple of years. Yeah, and that one's fun because you could go around and like you get a starter, and then you can go fight people and get different ribbons, and it gives people something to do all weekend. But it's also a lot of work to organize something that big.
Yeah.
So, at the convention now, we're past Day Zero. What are some traditions?
Yes.
Spending too much money.
At the convention.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is my tradition. I spend way too much money.
That is true. It's just, there's so many of the things I want, and they're all in one place.
Yeah.
For me, my shopping tradition is Sunday, because usually everything's done, the masquerade, all the stuff I wanted to do, I've already done. And so Sunday's like my shopping day. And it also helps because on Friday or Thursday night or whatever is usually like everyone has everything fully stocked. So if there's something that like I really, really want, but it's expensive, if it's still there on Sunday, then I know I needed to get it. It was
destined.
meant to be. Yeah. It was destiny. And it helps me from making too many unwise purchases. So usually Sunday is my day to just slowly trawl the dealer's hall and the artist alley and pick up all the things I want.
Yeah, I usually do that also on the last day, or I'll do it on the first day. Because if I got no more money, I can't spend it.
That is true. That is true.
I do love,
it also,
like Sadie and I like going through Artist Alley together. Like, anytime we find out that one went through it without the other, we're like, how dare you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pointing out really cool things to each other and being like, oh my gosh, check out this art. And a lot of times if I end up getting really, really busy, Sadie will go without me, but then she's like, hey, Mercedes, I found y'all the Shadow of the Colossus art. Let's go.
I found all the booths just for you.
She's like, I know where you need to go, what you need to see. Here we go. Let's do this. And she's like amazing at navigating her way around and finding those the really fun art that I like.
Good. For me, like, there's a couple conventions up in the Pacific Northwest, like KomoriCon and SakuraCon, and I had helped my friend out as staff, and she runs the charity auction for like KomoriCon, and it keeps us busy most of the weekend, but Sunday's our free day, so we always go, Sunday's our shopping day. Don't make any plans, we're shopping on Sunday. And yeah, it's really fun because we get to like go and like walk through and make comments to each other, I guess, as we go through the dealer's hall and go, you need this, oh, you need that, which I guess is a whole different kind of enabling. So
Yeah.
My thing, the hard thing at dealer's hall is like, I have things I want, but I also have trouble justifying getting things for myself, because I'm always like, oh, you know what, so-and-so would love this, I need to get this for them. So-and-so would like this, I need to get this.
Your love language
right
is
there.
So nice.
Huh?
I said, you're so nice.
No.
No, I'm super selfish when it comes to Artist Alley.
Yeah.
I rarely
No.
buy.
You always buy me a keychain, though.
That's true.
yeah.
That's because I like you, though.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like, I know people who will get stuff for like their siblings and
Yeah.
like all of their friends.
Ooh, I can't afford that. But
Well, no. Well, said person also can't. It's beside the point. But yeah, usually I'll try to find one thing at least for the people who I've been. Let's put it this way: for the people who have to put up with me
oh my god.
during the convention.
Oh my god.
But
It's such a chore.
yeah, but it's always something from the Artist Alley.
Yeah.
And I rarely buy anything from the dealer hall. I like looking at the dealer hall.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the Artist Alley is kind of where I sit for a lot of the convention, especially comic conventions. I love sitting in the Artist Alley and just looking at the pretty art.
Yeah.
Because it's what I do, you know?
Yeah. Oh, totally.
So
I will go to the Artist Alley and like I'll definitely look, and there's like things that will like, oh, that really inspires a D&D thing for me, so I'll buy that and I put them up in
Ooh.
my recording studio. But if there's something that I look at and it reminds me of a person, even if I don't necessarily know the connection, then I'll buy it for that person if I can afford to, of
Aw.
course.
Yeah.
So one time I bought like this giant print of a Nightcrawler drawing, and I was like,
Ooh.
you know, my good buddy Rhett, he loves Nightcrawler. That's his favorite X-Men. I'll just give that to him. And he goes, why is it so big? I was like, I don't know. I saw it and it made me think of you. So here you go, buddy. Have fun figuring out where to hang it.
Oh. That is yeah, relatable. I am my love language is gift giving, so I like to hand things to people and be like, I thought of you when you weren't here, so here's this thing. I don't know if it's useful to you or not, but here is this thing. Yeah. So Artist Alley, I love Artist Alley because like, I mean, I like supporting like series with official merchandise and things like that, but I also I love the creativity in the Artist Alley. I love supporting local artists. I love just the passion they have for their projects and things like that.
Oh, totally.
It's really fun.
yeah.
Another thing that I like to do is like Sadie and I, especially back when we were first like learning about cosplay and like getting to know people and whatnot, panels. We would always sit down at night before day one, and we'd create like a plan of like what panels are we going to go see, and then we're going to go and have lunch at this time, and like we'd make this full schedule. And like Sadie likes to be really organized like that. And I enjoy it because organization is pleasing to me. But I also am okay with like just totally scrapping the schedule last second and being like, and now I'm going to this gathering I didn't know about.
I was gonna say I've made those plans before, and 9 times out of 10 I end up abandoning them before day one.
Yeah, same.
'Cause I'm like, but
Sadie and I have gotten really good at kind of being spontaneous with all that kind of stuff of like, we have a schedule, we have panels and whatnot that we like really want to see, but it's okay if we miss something here and there and we go, you know, get distracted by some costume or something new that we haven't seen before. And you know, try to keep
Nice.
it fun and exploratory that way.
Yeah, this is going to sound, I guess, not terrible because it's just who I am, but most of the panels I end up going to are the late night ones, which also just happen to be the 18 plus ones.
I mean,
Because that's when I have time to do stuff, but it's also things I'm interested in. So that was fun. We went to one last ALA, didn't we?
Yeah, no, I was just laughing to myself about the macrame.
Oh, yes. Okay, so do you know what macrame is?
I'm familiar. I'm just wondering how that
like
ties
weaving-
into 18
okay.
plus macrame.
It ties in. So we decided to attend a shibari panel, which is Japanese rope tying techniques. And they were going through one of the techniques, and I was like, oh, this is just like macrame, but it's bigger. And so, like, they're, like, slowly stepping through this, and I'm just, like, going nuts tying somebody's arm together, because I'm like, I know how this works!
At one point, she had, like, half the room just, like, staring in awe at, like, her speed of just, like, tying my fingers together, basically.
wow.
This makes me so happy.
It was so funny.
I am very good at
like
tying
macrame.
It is just like macrame. It's human macrame. Anyway.
Okay.
So. Oh my gosh. See, this is why we brought you.
Yeah. I remember all the embarrassing stuff.
Yeah.
All the good stuff.
All the good stuff. All the good stuff. So going to panels with your friends is fun.
Mm-hmm. So, depending on the convention, we'll have different, like, traditions as well. For example, like, Sadie and I go to Denver Pop Culture Con a lot, and my aunt and uncle are there. And so one of our traditions is to go and eat at this restaurant, and heaven help me if I can remember the name of it right now, but it has an amazing shake. They put a whole freaking piece of pie in it, and it's great.
Whoa.
And there's so much of it. And I eat the entire thing as much as I can. I think there's usually a little bit left over, but I try my darndest.
Oh my goodness.
But, like, it's so much fun, and just, like, tradition, you know, either the first night or the last night or one of the nights we go out and we eat at this specific restaurant. It's within walking distance, and
like I think every different convention we have, there's a different restaurant tradition. Like non-descon, we would always go to Casa Bonita because mostly because South Park, but we would always go to. It's not great food, but I know.
I just realized that.
I know, it's sad. Or we would go to the original Pancake House like the day before or the morning we were leaving or heading out. There's just so many traditions around restaurants.
Yeah.
One of my favorite is like after the masquerade, like just gathering as many people that we met in the green room as possible and going to dinner somewhere.
Usually Denny's.
Denny's, because that's what's open.
And making the staff wish that we didn't exist.
Yeah.
Or they didn't exist.
I'm sorry, Denny's.
Many
I'm
people
very sorry,
that one
Denny's.
year. There were so many people.
Oh my god.
Now when it comes to the Denny's tradition, I'm just like, okay,
Yes.
so who have you invited already? Because I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I get to the end of the day and I'm just like, I just want to be around my close friends.
Yeah.
Because I am done stressed out and I'm done. Otherwise,
it depends on the con.
it does depend
for
on the con, yeah. It's like, there's definitely like been ones where like, at the end, like I get to the restaurant, everyone's chatting and my head is just on the table.
Aww.
Mm-hmm.
There's many a photo of my head on the table and people going, oh, Mercedes. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm done pooped.
Like, this Komori Con, because that was kind of like a newish con for me. I've only been a couple times. I went with some of the other competitors backstage after the cosplay contest, and it was pretty late, but I got to meet, like, there weren't a lot of friends from, like, most of the cons I've been to are in Salt Lake City or California, so there wasn't the same, like, giant number of people that were all hoarding to the Denny's. So I got to sit with new people and meet new people and talk about making stuff, and it was fun.
That sounds great. But like,
Yeah.
because that ties back to like last episode where we were talking about making new friends and
Yes.
Yeah.
So most of the people that I went with after this last year was people that I was chatting with in the green room. So it was people that I had talked with about their costumes, and I was like, now that we're friends, I want you to meet my other friends, and now you should talk. And just be a con mommy and make everybody be friends. So one of my other, since we mentioned Denny's, I have to mention my personal tradition at Denny's.
Yeah, if you didn't bring it up, I was going to.
This is going to be the picture on the blog post.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yes.
No. I think I have the picture of the very first one I've ever done. But since Denny's is known for its breakfasts, how do I describe this? I will take a pancake that's usually at the end of the meal and poke 2 holes in it for the eyes and 1 big one for the mouth, and I will put it on my face, and I will proceed to, like, yell and make weird noises through the pancake as if it were my face.
Mm-hmm.
And we call that pancake face. And
it's beautiful.
Pancake panning. Yes.
It's a tradition.
Yes. And
Rolls her eyes now,
so I have
but we make her do it.
photos of yes, I have photos of that in several different cosplay. I think the first one was Sakura from Naruto.
Yeah,
way back in the day. I do have a photo of that one still. But I have done it in, doesn't matter what I'm cosplaying. I've done it as Bunny from Tiger and Bunny, as Lelouch from Code Geass, as Grell from Black Butler. Just doesn't matter what I'm wearing. There will be a pancake on my face. Yeah, so that's my tradition. Usually,
unwillingly these days.
These days, unwillingly. The first few times, it was like, "Hey guys, I'm stupid," and it's like 2 a.m. Have a pancake on my face, and now it's "Hey everybody, Patton has to do the pancake face." So. It's always fun, though, to see the reactions from people who haven't seen the pancake face for the first time.
They're just like, what is going
They're just
on?
not expecting it. It's always
Where is
good.
this coming from? Is this not a professional?
Yes.
No, I remember, I think it was our first bonsai together. So like 2 years ago, and someone came up to you while we were prepping for a booth, and they were like, "Pannon, you gonna do pancake face?" And like you laughed, they laughed, and I just looked over as I'm like plugging cables in frantically, like, "What the heck? What the heck is pancake face? What is this thing? What have I mixed myself up into?"
Yeah. Have I shown you pancake face?
You've shown me pancake face, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Yeah. So that's a thing. Happened.
So, do we want to read the traditions from our Facebook group, people?
Yes, let's do some of that.
Oh, awesome. Isaiah says, it seems to be a little tradition of mine to support local artists, buying artwork from them. Just wish I had a place to put them all on display.
Yeah,
Makes
that's
total
fair.
sense.
You know, the ceiling is usually free.
The ceiling is usually free.
That is true, as I now think about how to utilize that space in my room.
Yeah.
It opens a whole new world.
Yeah. You know those what are they? There's like the Velcro things to put up pictures. You just stick those to the ceiling.
Can we trade them out?
Problem solved.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. My roommate's
Next.
going to be like, no.
Kibby Ella, Kibby says 3 a.m. mahjong.
Oh man,
I would not do
you have
well
some
at.
kind of endurance.
Yeah, no, not for me.
I want to do that.
Man, like we used to have parties up till 3 and 4 in the morning, and have to get up at like 6 and 7, and and I no longer have that level of endurance, but kudos to those that do.
Right?
Candace Chesley says, Tyler and I always have our celebratory first cup of coffee on the drive to the con every year. I don't drink coffee often, but I always make an exception for tradition.
Okay. Every time Sadie and I head out to Anime Bonsai from her house, we always stop at this certain Starbucks and get coffee. Like, that is a legit tradition.
Nice.
I like Robert's comment on the next one.
Which is just an animated gif of people taking shots.
Yep.
I can get down with that.
Yeah, and then Tokudoku Cosplay says, my con roomies and I will usually order some form of takeout on the last day of con and talk about the con and what we want to work on next. Also, super early Starbucks runs on Masquerade Day.
Oh boy.
Definitely requires Masquerade Day.
Yeah. Lizzie Momo Ashenbrenner says, mandatory, quote, real food dinner, end quote, after contest with Mike.
Mick. Yeah, Mick.
No, that when we went to do NDK, I kept getting posts from all my comments from all my people. What vegetables have you eaten yet? What green things have you eaten yet?
Oops.
So
Oops.
I went to Noodles and Company and I got like their vegetarian noodles and everything. And I was like, this is good for me. Ish. Still lots of salt, but it's still good.
Oh, was that the noodles like across the street from NDK?
Yeah. It was like they handled the rush really well.
I had mac and cheese.
I definitely have not drunkenly stumbled in there before. Oh. Anyway, DJ Holiday says, Day Zero badge pickup casual cosplay day is my favorite. Woo! Catching up with your roomies and out-of-state friends, going through the schedule and hyping up for the weekend.
Hype day. I'm gonna do Day Zero bonsai this year. I'm gonna make it.
I'm gonna make Stacy read some of these.
Okay, go Stacy.
Okay, Haley says Saturday night drinks with the girl crew. It usually ends with a few blurry selfies and cheesecake at midnight.
Ooh.
Here's a selfie from the last get together at SoccerCon 2019.
Aww,
they look very cute.
It's very cute.
So cute.
AJ Red says dinner with my friends. Always good.
Jaslyn Jensen says making little gifts for my friends, and we always try to do a panel together. If not, we always go to each other's panels to support. Aw.
Yay!
And Jaslyn also adds on there, another one is walking to go get some fast food. It's always fun to kind of get lost and see where we end up.
Sherry Allen says, after cosplay contest, noms with new and existing friends at SAK going to Pike Place for fresh veggies as room snacks. Also,
yay,
yes.
Pike Place.
meeting up with family in the area for a day before the con. That's nice. You kind of like get, I don't know, the Muggle vibe out.
Yeah.
Oh, Pike Place is my place.
Oh.
Yeah.
When I go up to Washington.
Uh-huh.
There's a cupcake place that does lavender cupcakes.
Oh, Cupcake Royale.
That's
good.
that's my tradition.
Nice.
Just buying as many lavender cupcakes as I can.
Yeah.
My wife and I went there last year, and we got to go to Piroshki, which is a
I love Piroshki.
little Russian bakery, and it is the most delicious thing.
It's so good. Oh man. But yeah, definitely favorite thing. SAK is for SoccerCon, so I'm guessing that's the one. Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Good guess.
So yeah, we like to go to Pike Place. That was why we drove through the night, was so we could go to Pike Place, so we could go to there's a Japanese like bunch of stores out. I don't know if it's called Japantown like it is in Los Angeles or not, but it's like there's a Kinokuniya, there's an Uwajimaya.
It's just the Asian district. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, just the Asian district.
Nice. So we go there and the Daiso and a few other places just to get snacks and fun stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. Crystal Stoner says 2 things: taking a break from the con center and getting real food with friends, and taking a nap in the hotel.
Nice.
Hotel naps?
Those are good traditions.
Hotel naps are the shiz.
Yes. Yeah.
Isaiah Schaefer says that no matter where the convention is, everyone always manages to congregate around the closest McDonald's.
Yay.
Inoi says, at our local con of NDK, we would bring a rice cooker and fresh fixings from the day at the fish market for homemade sushi on night 0. Good friends, lots of laughs, and the Shiba bomb roll. Nothing better than a costume, fun, with great friends and good food.
Okay,
Nice.
okay. I
Sounds
did not
awesome.
know that Anoli did that, and I'm mad that I missed it.
You have not had the Shiba bomb roll.
I want to have some sushi with Anoli now.
Giovanna Perez says, mine is eating the instant mac and cheese every
Oh,
con.
oh.
I always end up buying the packs and then eating them for dinner either at the con or wherever I'm staying.
Mood.
Those things have saved my life.
Oh. Nope.
You want to grab a couple, David?
Yeah, Louise Sanders writes Masquerade, Formal Dances, and Ribbons. Eric Powers writes Cards Against Humanity after surviving another cosplay contest.
I want to play Cards Against Humanity with you, Eric Powers, because I think that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Vicky writes crashing in the hotel room after the con with my besties and crawling down to the hotel bar for drinks and food afterwards.
Christina says, we always do Cards Against Humanity with the guests. The same guy always runs it, Samurai Dan, and he has a special shirt he wears for that panel every
Aw,
year.
That's so cool.
Ashley Schaefer says, my sister and I always binge an entire anime we haven't seen before over the weekend of the con. I don't know how we have time for it, but we've done this for the last several years.
Oh,
That's
dang.
insane.
Oh, dang.
Oh.
Chris Allen says, hitting a large liquor store and buying something unusual. Nice.
That seems
That's how you end up like never buying it again either. So like we bought this weird like pear schnapps and I will never drink this again.
Fair.
Mina Rengoku says, I never considered it a tradition, but a bunch of friends and I always end up at Denny's in the middle of one of the con days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't go to Denny's,
You
you end up at Denny's. One of my favorite ribbons they give at ALA says real Denny's hours. And it's just someone who goes to Denny's between like 11 and 3 a.m. And if you are there during that time, he gives you a ribbon.
Wow, that's
One of
commitment.
those in
I
my
think
stash.
it's midnight and 2
Yeah.
a.m. Midnight and 2 a.m.
Is it 2? Is it 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just those 2 hours.
That is commitment.
Yep. It's
Mhm.
amazing.
Marianne Kroon says we try to go to panels and shop dealer's room together. Miranda Kingsford says contest, Broadway show if they have it, and at least try to hit the con dealer's room. Unless we're talking about food, then it's usually pizza or McDonald's, depending.
Ordered in pizza. So good.
Jeff writes last day of con friends lunch at the same local restaurant for the past 15 years. Goodness.
Nice.
And Lynn Aaron Thompson says late night comedy panels on Friday or Saturday night at the con. Something about nighttime just always makes everyone super hyper and goofy at conventions. Laughing until I cry at midnight panels that give hilarious love advice, Zap Brannigan's Spaceship of Love, or of the worst fanfictions, where fanfictions go to die, are some of my favorite memories.
Oh man,
Those
yes.
Awesome.
I do want
I
to
think
start a new tradition, specifically at Bonsai, when Pannon and I went to the lip sync for your life and cosplay thing.
Yeah,
And they were like, okay, so the final song is Utada Hikaru's Simple and Clean.
Yeah.
Who thinks they could do it? And then like a bunch of people go and we're like, well, maybe we could do it. And then they go up there, they're doing it. And Pan and I, in our best falsetto, hold me, whatever
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah, it was great.
So good.
So good.
So good. Yep. Tradition. Well, good news, David. They are bringing that event back. So
I'm going to try and compete this year if we get to go.
Yes, me too. Let's
do
see. That's all the ones that people shared. So thank you guys for sharing those in our Facebook group, especially on short notice. I was just going to mention a couple more that I just have in my notes here. Like for photographers, I know certain conventions have like photographer areas. There's a photographer's corner at SakuraCon where people can just go and congregate and talk about what cameras they like and what lighting and things like that, and have fun meetups and discuss shoots and all kinds of stuff. I love that they do at Anime Expo is they have sets. to come up and get photos at. So you can have like a classroom setting, or you can have like on a train, or you can have in an industrial building, and they have these giant props and sets that you can go do photos at. I like doing, set building parties. When we did like World Cosplay Summit, we would have set building parties with all the different teams competing. And it was a really good chance to get to know people, and it was a little more like relaxed setting, because everyone's not like, it's not time to go yet. It's just time to set up and get to know people. Hallway convention rehearsals. Some of these friends... Parking lot rehearsals. So sometimes the people you're competing with live in different states, and so you haven't been able to rehearse yet, and sometimes you've just left it till the last minute. So, I mean, a few ALAs ago, I think it was, when we did the Zora group we were Sidon and Mifa and Link, and we were rehearsing in the hotel room the night before the presentation. So that was fun. Just always seems to happen. And what I love that convention staff do is they'll do like dead dog parties, which is usually like put together for the staff and for everyone who worked hard all weekend. They'll go to like a nice restaurant, or they'll have the hotel cater something for all the people who have worked that weekend.
That is cool.
Yeah, I think it's really fun, and people... I really loved the one they did at NandesCon this year, because they had like the heads of each department nominate different staff members to give them like special recognition for hard work that they'd done throughout the weekend. Yeah. It was really sweet. And they actually had like different pins that they gave to them for like years of service and things like that. And I was like, that's so cool. And it's like, it's not much, but it's like a way to like make your staff know that they're appreciated, since most of the people doing this are volunteers, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And just recognizing moments that, you know, maybe a lot of people didn't even notice. Like somebody had a difficult customer, or somebody had to run something to a panel like last minute really fast, or someone had to make a tech adjustment at the last minute, things like that. So, yeah.
I think my favorite tradition, it doesn't really have anything to do with cosplay per se, but since I've done a lot of artist alleys, I think my favorite thing is like the hour before the convention starts, when artists start setting up and they get in and everything. There's just this quiet moment of understanding between all the artists. It's just really nice to be able to sit before the convention and talk to the artists around you when, you know, you're not trying to sell and you're not trying to do business and stuff. Nice. So I think that's really nice. And then also you're able to like wander around and see everybody else's stuff just, you know, before all the attendees get in. And I think nice. That's one of my favorite things is just wandering around before the convention's open and seeing the things that you're not able to see.
Yeah. Nice. I like that one. I guess most of these seem to boil down to like making time for friends, or making time for having quiet moments during the convention, whether it's trawling the dealer's hall, artist alley, or taking a nap in your hotel room, going to bed on time. And spending time with friends, doing what makes you happy. So, yeah. Does anyone else? Mercedes, you have a wrap up for us?
Nom 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 chicken nuggets? No, I'm just kidding.
I knew it!
The perfect wrap up.
I'm just picturing you with this mountain of chicken nuggets that you've been consuming the entire episode.
Gotta be stone cold by this point.
I know they would be. But I bought a whole bag for myself, so...
I believe in you.
We do have a cosplay horror story submission, by the way.
Oh, excellent. Let's read it.
So this one is... So this is titled First Con's Kiss by Hawk Edward. I think it means Hawkward.
Oh, Hawkward.
Just realized that. Hawkward. Oh my gosh.
Hawkward.
Okay. I shall tell you a tale unlike any other. So there I was, A-Con 2014. My first anime convention in my first anime cosplay. I had started watching cosplay fairly recently and had stumbled across Black Butler, a dark and compelling anime about a demon butler with the suave voice of J. Michael Tatum, and his master, whose soul he wants to consume. While most fans are drawn to its not-so-subtle BL themes, I was drawn to it for its mysterious and dark story and the charismatic and refined Sebastian...
McCallus.
Yes, thank you. Sebastian McCallus, or however you say it. I don't Black Butler.
It's okay.
As a guy of 27, single and ready to mingle, I felt Sebastian was the perfect cosplay. My cosplay fit well, my wig was brilliantly commissioned, and my prop silverware was well... Why would you put all these words together? My prop silverware was well received.
He's spinning a tail, Mercedes.
I know, and I'm trying my best, okay? Humble brag, I received a lot of attention and photos and was told several times I was the most attractive Sebastian they'd ever seen. And humble brag. All was going well until I went to the Black Butler panel. I knew very little about anime at the time, but even less about the fans and the different fandom demographics. I was expecting...
I think we all know where this is going.
I wasn't expecting the main demographic to be underage, screaming fangirls yelling over each other to say who they thought was the top and bottom in the Ciel Sebastian duo.
Oh no.
Not quite my topic of discussion of choice, but I'm no judge. People may like whatever they like, but it wasn't the panel or the fans that I had a problem with. Oh no, the problem came from one fan in particular. She was a tiny thing and obviously very young. She was also dressed as Sebastian and asked me for a photo. We took the photo and she was hugging me for an uncomfortable amount of time. It was incredibly awkward. Eventually she let go, as others were wanting pictures with me or her. Later that evening, I stood in line to meet J. Michael Tatum, Sebastian in the flesh, and get an autograph. And there she was, roughly 10 spots ahead of me. The line zigzagged, and every opportunity she got as we passed each other, she would hug me. Innocent enough, I suppose, if not awkward. We chatted about the show a bit, then it happened. She straight up asked, "Can I kiss you?" Dumbfounded, I said. Dumbfounded, I said, and I made a motion to my cheek, and was about to say, only on the cheek, but no, this tiny little 90-pound girl grabbed my face and planted one straight on my lips. Mentally, goodness. Mentally, I was freaking out and pulled away as quickly as possible and as subtly as I could so as to not seem rude.
Oh no.
In my head, I was like, WTF, 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 WTF. We were nearing the end of the line, and I finally asked, how old are you? Oh no.
Oh no.
13, she said. WTF, WTF, WTF.
Oh no!
And waved goodbye, and I gave her a curt wave. Thankfully, I never saw her again, and when I decided to attend A-Con as a handsome demon butler, I was low-key hoping to meet some ladies, but certainly not one 14 years my junior. Remember, cosplay is not consent, and this applies to everyone.
Everyone.
Good. Oh boy. Awkward. Oh man. Well, I am sorry for that tale.
Yeah.
Cosplay is not consent.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh.
Had some interesting brushes with that one. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never had to deal with that, thankfully. I do get people's phone numbers, though. That's my humble brag.
I think the weirdest one was when I was in a group that did Team 7 from Naruto, and I was Sakura, and two of my friends were Naruto and Sasuke, and then my friend DJ was Kakashi. And, you know, most people wanted, you know, the Naruto Sasuke, because that's everybody's ship, which I was fine with, that's okay. But someone was like, Sakura's my favorite. And I was like, oh, cool, let's take a picture together. And right as they were snapping the photo, they came behind me, put their arms, like, up under my waist, and grabbed my boobs, right as the camera snapped, and I was like, excuse me?
Dad, don't do that.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, on a happier note, I want to tell you about one of my super smooth friends. Okay?
Okay.
Their name's Flavia. And we were dressed as Break and Oz from Pandora Hearts.
Pandora Hearts.
Love that. Love that so much. Anyways, so we were dressed as those characters, and Flavia is, like, super gay. And some girl came up to her and was like, hey, can I get Break's phone number? And I'm oblivious off to the side, of course, to all of this. And Flavia goes, that's a girl. And the girl's like, oh, but still? And Flavia goes, she doesn't swing that way, but I do. I'm like, dang, girl!
Nice. Nice. Get it.
So smooth.
Yeah.
Smooth.
Just cute.
Like butter. Very nice. Oh, well, if you would like to share one of your stories with us, you can feel free to email that in at CosplayStitchAndSeam@gmail.com.
Or fill out the contact form on CosplayStitchAndSeam.com. Or...
And you could go to our...
We're working on it. We're working on it.
Or you could go to our Facebook page, just search Cosplay Stitch and Seam. You can join our page and message us your story there. Or you could just join our group and share in the Work in Progress Wednesdays.
Yay! Stacy, you want to give us a shout out? Where can people find your work?
You can find me on Twitter at SlyPit. That's SLYPITT. I think I have an Instagram and for both my art and for my cosplay, which I don't use as often as I should.
It's okay. And we're doing some this year.
It's true. And that would be Tatsue_cosplay. And that's TATSUE on Instagram. And then my art is also Stacy, STACIE _pit.
I highly recommend you check out both those things, but especially the art. I'm like low-key Stacy's biggest fan on the whole art stuff. I've got her art hanging up.
I'm high-key, so
I've had it hung up in my classroom at the school I teach at. Like, yes, Stacy, you're amazing.
Thank you.
Yay! So thank you for joining us and for reliving some fun memories.
Thank you for putting up with me.
Yay! If you'd like to help out our podcast, you can go to Ko-fi, Kofi, and look for Cosplay Stitch. You can also listen to us on Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcasts, and please drop us a review.
You should drop us a review like Ninja Girl 200 did on Stitcher, and they wrote, "So much fun and wholesome. This podcast is so cute, fun, and wholesome. A breath of fresh air in the cosplay community."
Yay! Thank you!
Yeah. Speaking of smooth.
Thank you.
Nice. Thanks as always to Macy Roberts for our music and David Jeffers for our sound. Tell us about what's going on in your neck of the woods.
Next month for Comic Trades Monthly, we are reading Invincible by Kirkman, and I'm really excited to talk about that one. We've got some great interviews I can't talk about quite yet. Don't want to count the eggs before they hatch and all that. So we've got some cool people coming onto the show who've made comic books. Dungeons and Chill is still going strong. Woo! And I just finished editing next week's episode yesterday, so I'm starting to get back ahead of it, so that means sound effects can start going back into actual episodes.
Huzzah! Very nice. Yeah, thanks for listening. We love you guys. Be nice to each other, especially in these hard times.
I miss conventions!
I know, I miss them too. Remember to be that positive change you want to see in your community, and just be nice.
Share your projects on the Facebook group or on Twitter or Instagram. We want to see what you guys have been working on.
Yay!
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, nerds.
Bye.
See ya!